Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is me, Frenchie. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. Christmas is gone now. We're just in that weird time of year between New Year and Christmas. And today we've got another episode of Moneyball as we are back on with the uploads after a hectic Christmas schedule. So it has been, or it still is, summer transfer window, but obviously we've kind of, as you can see, we're ready to start the season properly. We've played all our pre-season, so this will be the big transfer special for the 22-23 season. Before we do that though, I will go ahead and jump and look at the schedule so we can see how I got on in pre-season. We start off with a 2-0 loss at Aberdeen, a little bit of disjointedness. Followed that up then with a 1-0 win over Hartlepool. Followed that up with a 2-2 draw, thanks to a late equaliser of Jordan Williams against Stockport County. Followed that up with against Barwell, 4-0, absolutely battered them as we would expect it to be, given they are a national. I think they're Vanarama national? Nope, they are a non-league semi-professional side. And then we followed that game up with a loss at Red Star Belgrade, 3-0, and then a 3-1 loss to Hearts. Both probably expected. But now for the bit you are all waiting for, the transfer special. So we will start off with the players going out. So the first out of the season was Ethan Ebanks Landell, and this was probably the biggest departure from Shrewsbury this season. If we have a look at his stats then to justify why we let him go, as you can see then he went to Portsmouth, and people enjoyed this little transfer profile, so I thought why not bring it back each transfer window. But looking at the stats then, for the majority of them, except headers percentage and interceptions and tackle percentage, he is below the average of the squad and the average of the squad is without him in it. And also you can see we picked up 330,000 when he was only valued at 85 due to his 1-year contract, as well as being on a hefty wage of £3,000. So it was good to get that off the books. And then the next departure, another big name in our team, Ollie Norburn. Sadly, didn't want to sign a new contract at the end of last season, so he has left on a free transfer to Sheffield Wednesday. Again, average is probably, I think, he was good. He was good for the squad. It would have been good to keep him around. High tie percentage, it's good for defensive midfielders. You can see high tackle rate, high tackle win rate, and a good pass attempt and pass completion rate. Other than his giving away fouls, we did unfortunately not pick up a penny for him despite him being worth 80k, but shifting his £2,000 a week wages is a bit of a silver lining, shall we say. And then finally, the final out is Will Aimson. He also left on a free to Tranmere. Again, not really one I'm too fussed about. His averages, his stats were below the squad average on almost all metrics except the interceptions, which was only slightly. We also kicked off his £1.1 thousand a week wages. He's only worth 11k, so it's not a big loss that we've not picked up any money for him. So now for the bit you've all been waiting for, I'm sure, our transfers in. I identified a few positions that needed strengthening in the transfer window. The centre-back cover we needed with two of our centre-backs leaving. We needed someone to replace Ollie Norburn, and also someone to replace the outgoing loan of Paul Glatzel after Daniel Armstrong is too injury prone, so he won't be sticking around for much longer. So we decided to look to ship him on in the future. So centre-back, right-back, and left wing, the three positions, because obviously we only have the one right-back in Mark Little, who played a lot of games last season. So the first transfer we made is Bradley Halliday from Tranmere. And as you can see, we've got his stats on the screen then. Very, very strong defensive fullback, very much similar to Mark Little. 3.68 interceptions around the squad average, 2.4 to average of tackles per 90. He picked up 3.5, which is much higher. Not as high percentage one, but I think it probably balances out in terms of when you look at the percentage per 90 he puts in. a pretty strong pass attempts rate and pass rate. He was very much along where we needed him to be, but we picked him up for 19.25 thousand, despite him being worth 25,000. But look at that wage budget. That wage bill of only needing £725 a week is something we will definitely welcome. And another thing as well, he is younger than Mark Little, so hopefully won't be able to struggle with fitness as often as Mark Little has in the last 12 months. The next signing then is Joe Pritchard from Accrington Stanley. We've brought him in to cover the left midfield. He plays a bit of deeper role than Glatzel and when we usually play, but it'll be good against defensive sides or attacking sides where we want to play a more defensive approach. Looking at his stats then, you can see he's not brilliant. He has got a lower cross attempts per 90, but a higher cross completion rate, so it kind of balances out. 10% of 9.5 is just under one cross per game completed, whereas he's got a quarter of 8.6. So that means that he will be completing around 2 crosses per game, which is quite handy. Key passes is significantly higher than our squad average. Not as many chances created, but a lot more assists per 92. So hopefully he'll be a bit of a bargain. As you can see, picked him up for 100,000, less than what we need. His valuation is on a higher wage than we maybe would have liked, 1,400 per week. But hopefully he will pay dividends. And he had a pretty good season last season for league rivals, actually, Accrington Stanley. So last season he also got 11 assists in 44 games. So I think he could do quite a few little things for us. And now this is in absolutely no order, more than just the quality of signing, I suppose, how big a signing it is. Next up, we've got Jamie Brandon, another right back cover, as well as Halliday. He will probably feature a lot less, Jamie Brandon. However, he can feature in that right midfield for times when we want to play a full flat midfield. You can see his stats aren't as high. He puts in a good tackles per 90 at 4.15, almost double what our squad average is. But everything else, he's a bit weaker. He's not as good passer, but crucially, if you look at his fee compared to his valuation, he's valued at 90k. We picked him up for just 1.1 thousand, as well as being less than £1,000 per week in the wage budget. I think that's pretty good signing for someone who will be cover unless he really impresses. But let's hope he will, but we'll see. There's no pressure on young Jamie. Next up then is some centre-back cover. We picked up Tunji Akinola, former West Ham youth prospect. We picked him up from Luton Town for £85,000, being valued at around 100,000. His wage as well is only 420 a week, so another person who doesn't have to do brilliantly. He did have limited games, less than 10, but enough to get some decent metrics, and you can see 6 header attempts per 90, 5-1, with a high header percentage of 85%, 3 interceptions per game, 4 tackles per game, and an 80% tackle succession rate. So I think someone who could probably come in same way Billy Cometio came in last season and just be brought in for those really like the last 10 minutes to make an impact. And our penultimate signing on the in is Jack Baldwin, and another one I quite like. Picked him up from AK Dons, crucially on a free evaluation of 20k. He has a higher wage than maybe I would have liked at £1,000 a week, but a lot less than our average. As you can see there, half of what the average centre-back wage is. And he's very good in the air. Header attempts 7.2, aerial attempts per 90, winning 6.3 of them, so that's an 87% succession rate. A decent enough tackle and interception rate, interceptions per 90, with an 85% succession rate. So I think someone who could definitely come in. He's probably the replacement of Ebanks Landell, who was our superior centre-back in the air, so he will definitely look to be that man for us. And then finally, perhaps the big one, the one that I'm most excited about, is left wing cover. So we brought him in to replace the loan returnee of Paul Glatzel, Sorba Thomas. They're bringing him in January, but we didn't have enough money to do so. So we settled on a loan for Glatzel instead. He's come from National League team Boreham Wood. So if we take that into context of the fact that maybe these stats might be a bit higher, but nevertheless they are high. Completing 2.76 dribbles per 90, putting in 2.7 crosses per 90 on average, with a completion rate of 32%. 0.5 key passes per game isn't great, so a key pass every other game, and it's not ideal, but I'm sure in our squad he may up that number a fair bit. Chances created then 0.76 per game, so almost a chance a game, as well as getting roughly average for the squad assists per 90. We picked him up then for around half his valuation at 47,500. His wage is £1,000 per week, so around where the squad average is for that position. And another signing, I'm not going to bring up the numbers because I don't have them, but Billy Kmetio has joined us permanently. We signed him from Liverpool after his contract was expired. We picked him up on a free. He's on 1.8 thousand a week, so a little bit high, but I think he definitely proved himself last season in the under 23s with some really high numbers, as well as the numbers at Liverpool in the cups and things like that. And Mateusz Mazowski, obviously absolutely crucial for us last season, picking up 4 goals and 3 assists in 16 games, remains on loan for the rest of the season there. So then in the next episode, which will come out on Wednesday, we will have the start of the season where I'll bring you the Middlesbrough and Blackpool games before we kick on to the season, and hopefully improve on our 8th place finish last season. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, click the notification bell so that you are notified when new videos go live. Don't forget to check the links in the description, and also especially go follow my Twitch. I'm always streaming every Tuesday and Thursday in the new year, so come and join in, have a chat. But other than that then, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.